Hello, I'm Kira. Welcome to Shakti Power Yoga. Today we are going to do a class for the Sahasrara chakra, the final chakra. So come join me at the top of the mat. We are going to start in Tadasana, roll the shoulders back, crown of the head reaches up, spread the chest out wide, ground through the feet. The feet can be touching each other or hip distance apart, whatever's more comfortable for you. Really just set an intention for this class. Let the intention be something to do with your chakras. So if you know that one chakra is out of whack, make your intention about that if you know the chakra system well. If you don't, the Sahasrara chakra is all about connection to enlightenment, to the divine. So try to tap into that part of you that feels like you're part of something greater, like you have a purpose, and feel proud in that conviction. So from here, we are going into Vriksasana, which is a great pose for your root chakra. It's your grounding chakra. So from here, point the right toes, pull them out to the side, start balancing on your left foot before you now raise the right foot and have it fall to your calf or to your thigh, just not to your knee. Press in together. So your left thigh is pressing inward and your right foot is pressing against it. Once you get that lifting motion of pressing together and up, then lift your hands overhead. They can be straight shoulder distance apart, or they can come to actually touch overhead. And breathe easy here. So this is for the first chakra, the Muladhara chakra. Of course, we have to start here because to build up to the seventh chakra, your first six chakras have to already be in balance. So the Muladhara chakra here is the chakra for survival. It's for belonging in this world, knowing your geographical location, your familial location, like being confident in that. So we work that here by sending our roots into the ground and balancing. Go ahead and switch sides now. Lower that foot down. Start balancing on the right foot. Point the left toes out to the side and then lift it up when you're ready. When you find that pushing in and up motion with the thigh against the foot, then go ahead and lift the arms overhead. So you'll see we'll go through some poses that are going to work each chakra individually moving up, because the Sahasrara chakra doesn't really have any poses directly related to it. The only yoga practice related to the Sahasrara is meditation. So I'll definitely encourage you to meditate after this practice if that's something you're interested in. But the Sahasrara practice is all about working each chakra in series to balance all of them together so that you're ready for meditation. And go ahead and lower that down. We are going to take some Surya Namaskara A. So from your mountain pose, roll the shoulders back once more, crown of the head reaches up. Inhale, upward salute, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. This first time around, we'll stay here, we'll relax. You can sway your arms side to side. You can grab a hold of your elbows. I know you're probably tight coming into this practice, so we're going to take our time to loosen up. Crown of the head is reaching down. We're folding inward. We're relaxing. And now on an inhale, press your palms against your shins and lift halfway. Crown of the head now reaches towards the front of the room. And exhale, plant the palms down and step back slowly into plank pose. In plank pose, your hand should be right under your shoulder. There's a tendency to put them farther, to put them wider out as if you're going to do a push-up. So make sure they are right in line with your shoulder. Spread the fingers. The middle finger should point forward towards the front of the room. And now press into your hand strongly to round the back here. Engage the abs to make sure the butt is not too low or too high. And then press down and back through the heels to make sure your torso is as long as possible. Go ahead and lower down chaturanga, drop the knees if you need to, and then we'll inhale to upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Pedal out the heels here. Again, the back of our legs tend to get really tight, so I'm gonna let you relax in this pose for a minute. Take your time, loosen up for the rest of this practice. And now we are going to come up onto the tiptoes and just walk slowly towards the front of the mat until you're back in a forward fold. Hang out here. Halfway lift once more. And then fold back down on an exhale. Inhale, arms sweep out and up, upward salute, back bend here. And then hands come to heart, Tadasana. And we'll take that 2 more times now. So inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale here. Bottom of the exhale. Step or hop up into half forward fold. And now forward fold on an exhale. Inhale, upward salute. Back bend here. Hands to heart, mountain pose. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, plank or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale here. Bottom of the exhale, hop forward, half forward fold. And forward fold, exhale. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, mountain pose. Great job. Hopefully you're starting to feel a little loose here, so we're going to flow just a little bit more through a dancing warrior sequence. So when you're ready, inhale, sink the hips low into chair pose. And we'll hold here for a second, just firing up the legs, moving some heat into them so that they'll be ready to stretch later. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, plank or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises up. Exhale, right leg comes through. Inhale, rise up into your high lunge. Roll the shoulders back, long through the hands, fingertips plugging into the sky. Your hips should be centered towards the front of the room. There should be a right angle in your front leg. If that's not accessible, that's fine, but that's the intention. And your left toes are the only part on the ground, so on the ball of the foot here. And now we'll open up to the side, so the left heel comes down. Your left foot is parallel to the short edge of your mat, where your hips are now facing the side wall, and your hands are extended out into Warrior Two. Try to press your right knee a little bit back to keep that leg in line. I know that knee wants to collapse in. And now flip the right hand. Reverse warrior. Your right arm comes overhead, leaning back against your back leg. You can take a bind here if you want to wrap your left hand around your torso. And then inhale back up, extended side angle. So easiest variation, your elbow is going to come against your right leg, or you can bring your hand down to the floor. The inside of your leg is going to be easier than the outside of your leg. So 3 variations there. And we'll hold this for a minute. Breathe easy. On the next inhale, rise back up, Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. This whole time, your right knee is at a right angle and your hips are facing the sidewall. So check in, make sure that stayed. And now we can windmill the arms down to the ground and take a chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes up. Exhale, left leg pulls through strongly. Plant that left foot and then inhale, high lunge. Hips are facing the front of the room. Drop the shoulders. Pull your hips a little bit more under you. Take the pelvic tilt here. And now we'll open up towards the right and take warrior two. Hips are facing the side wall. Sink a little lower. Make sure you're pressing into the outer edge of the right foot. And your left knee is staying behind your left toes. Take another inhale and exhale here. Next inhale, left arm pulls up and over, reverse warrior. Take the bind again if you wish. And now windmill down, extended side angle. Any variation that you choose. Your left knee is still bent 45 degrees. Your hips are still open to the side. So you can take your hand and kind of pull your hip back if it's rotating too far inward. And now we'll rise up warrior two. Windmill down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Hop forward, half forward fold. Forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Great job, hold chair. We're gonna do that once more, but we're gonna do it fast. We're gonna flow and try to build up some more energy because this is our last intense flow. Then we're just gonna try to relax into pretty restorative poses. Not completely restorative, we're gonna work, but it's gonna be a lot slower paced. So try to enjoy this motion while you can. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises, three-legged dog. Exhale, right leg comes through, high lunge. Inhale, arms rise up into the high lunge. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale, left arm comes back, reverse warrior. Exhale, left arm comes forward, extended side angle. Inhale, warrior two again. Exhale, windmill the arms down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes up, three-legged dog. Exhale, left leg comes through. Inhale, lift up into high lunge. Exhale, open up into warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, plank or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Great job. From your chair pose, sink the butt low and roll yourself onto the ground. We are going to end up in staff pose. So try to engage your core here and get there however you need to. In staff pose, Dandasana, press the palms on either side of you to lift the torso up. Flex the toes towards your face. Now we're moving into Swadhisthana chakra, your sacral chakra, the second chakra. It's engaging your core here. So we're gonna lift up into Navasana. Go ahead on the next exhale, lift the legs, lift the hands. You can take a bend in the knee and hold on to the legs. You can straighten out the legs and you can release your hands. So any variation here, we are just holding. One more breath here. And slowly lower the legs back down into Dandasana once more. Hold here, recalibrate. We have one more Navasana to go. And when you're ready, we'll lift up into Navasana once more. Take any variation you need. Hold onto your legs, bend your knees, whatever. We're just all going to take some variation together and hold. Two more breaths. As you lower down this time, cross your legs and come into a kneeling position. Your Swadhisthana chakra is all about sexuality and your comfort with yourself. So we're working our core to engage that section. And we did that in Navasana. We're going to do it once more now in Lolasana. This is a difficult pose. I don't expect everyone to do it, but it is a pose that's accessible and safe for everyone to try doing. So that's what we're going to do today. Lolasana, we put our hands by our sides. It's like you're lifting into Balasana, crow pose. So you're engaging through your arms. This is an arm balance, but you're crossing your heels and you're just lifting your legs up off the ground. If you can do that, go ahead and hold. If you can't, go ahead and uncross your legs. Keep the tops of the toes on the ground and lift up that way. And you're still engaging the core and lifting as much of your legs as possible. Go ahead and come down, switch sides, and you have a second chance to try. Two more breaths. And release. Great job. Come to kneel. Stretch out the hands in front of you and lift up into Adho Mukha Svanasana. We're going to recover in downward facing dog. Great job. Now I feel like we've worked through our Muladhara, we've connected to the ground and we've connected to our core. Now we have a better understanding of our mind-body awareness since we've connected to our core, our belly in this way. The next pose we're going to do is focused a little bit higher, closer to your solar plexus, because that's the balancing point for Bakasana. Your solar plexus is right where the ribs split. So it's a little bit above the belly button. And this is your power center. It's the Manipura chakra, and it's all about power, work, how you connect to others in not domineering, but like in a controlled way. You are in control of your interactions, and that's what we're trying to do here. The next chakra is your heart chakra. So that's going to be in how you relate to specific people. This is universally how you relate to everyone around you, how you stay strong in your society. Go ahead and walk the feet slowly up. I know you're probably tired in that long down dog. And come to a forward fold at the top of the mat. I like accessing Bakasana from a forward fold because it encourages me to keep my hips, keep my butt as high as possible. That's the best way to really create a nice fulcrum straight above your hands. So bring your feet a little bit wider so that you can get your elbows on the inside of your legs. If you can do Bakasana, go ahead and lift right up. If you can't, we're still going to play here. It's a safe pose to play with. I guarantee you won't fall on your face. And even if you do, you'll kind of roll there. So it won't hurt. You're not in danger here. So to engage the power center, we're feeling bold, brave in this pose. We're pressing through our hands, ring finger pointed forwards, press strongly through the hands. Go ahead and wrap the inner thighs on the outsides of the upper arms. Press in deep and press out with your hands. So the same thing as with tree pose, you're engaging in opposite directions here to get a really strong core. And then you're just going to tilt forward. It's easier to tilt forward with one leg still on the ground and balance. And if you're doing that, go ahead and flip. Alternate your feet, lift one foot off at a time until eventually you'll come and lift all the way up and be bold in this pose. So go ahead and keep playing if you're not comfortable in Bakasana. If you are comfortable in Bakasana, go ahead and come out for a second. Try to get your arms a little bit lower on your legs or your legs a little bit higher up on your arms so that you can come in to a more straight arm variation. Keep playing for another few seconds. And go ahead and lower down and come to cross-legged, easy pose. Now that we've worked the solar plexus, we're going to keep on rising and open up our chest and work the Anahata chakra, the chakra of love. It's in the center of your heart. So we'll take upward plank now. Go ahead and reach your hands behind you, legs out long, and lift up from Tadasana into upward plank, Purvuttanasana. We'll hold here. If it's accessible for you, go ahead and reach the throat open by reaching the neck long and head drops back. Breathe here, settle into it through the legs, but let the chest continually reach up towards the sky. Try to make your heart the highest point in this posture. A few more breaths here. I know this can be a rather stressful position for the arms. You're getting a nice stretch in the anterior deltoids here. And go ahead and roll back down to the ground. We are going to take a similar pose next, Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, bridge pose. So bring your feet in under you. Plant the feet, spread the toes, knees hip distance apart. And now roll up vertebrae by vertebrae until you are in your bridge pose. You can stop here with your hands by your sides, pressing the ground away. Or you can start to walk your shoulders and your arms underneath you to create greater opening in the chest. Find your fullest expression here. Once you've planted your arms wherever they're going to wind up, go ahead and use your arms as leverage to push your hips even further into the sky. And only once your hips are as high as possible can you start to breathe and relax into this pose. Let your chest press into your throat here to work and activate the thyroid. And we'll take 2 more breaths here. And now roll back down to the ground. Let the knees fall together to rest. You can take bridge pose a second time, or you can come all the way up into Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bow. So if you're coming into this variation, go ahead and bring your hands back behind you to reach towards your shoulders. And then we're all going to press up through our legs, press up through our arms, and open up, bringing the hips and the heart as high up as possible. So whether you're in bridge again or bow, you are continuing to push your hips forward and up. In upward bow, the idea is to be able to straighten the arms and straighten the legs, and that's going to create a really deep back bend. So just straighten your arms and legs as much as you can to feel that resistance in the low back. Make sure you're activating the core to protect that lower back as well. And go ahead and drop down from wherever you are. Go ahead and rest together with the knees again. When you're ready, bring your legs out long. Bring your hands overhead. Give a full body stretch. Really stretch out the torso. Try to decompress here. And then bring your hands slowly in front of you and roll yourself up to a seat. Once you're in a seat, bring your hands in front of you again, cross your legs and come onto all fours, tabletop, and then press up till you are seated on your knees. We're going to take Ustrasana now, camel pose. So this is basically just like turning your upward bow 90 degrees. So bring your feet hip distance apart. You can, to make this a little bit easier, keep the toes tucked or untuck the toes to make you have to reach back a little bit farther. And then one hand at a time, you can reach back and grab your heels. If you want to, you can go ahead and use core strength to lower both hands at once. You can come out of that and back into it if you wanted to play with that strengthening. With all these poses that we're opening up the chest, we're working our heart chakra. And with these poses that we're throwing the neck back gently and relaxing the thyroid, then we're working our throat chakra as well. The throat chakra is Vishuddha. It's all about communication. Opening up the heart here, opening up the throat. Pressing with the thighs to bring the hips a little bit forward and staying strong and active in this pose. And go ahead and slowly come out of it. If you want to work the core, lift both arms at once to come back onto eventually kneeling, or one at a time, lift your hands. And we'll all meet in Balasana. In our Balasana, we're going to take it narrow-legged to make sure that we can get our forehead onto the ground. And that's because we're working the Ajna chakra, the third eye chakra now. This is all about intuition, and we're coming to a close in our practice, so we're trying to gauge where we are in our body and understand ourselves better. So if your forehead can't reach the ground, go ahead and grab a block and we'll relax here. The Ajna chakra is all about intuition. Its sound is Om. And from here, spontaneous enlightenment comes in the form of the Sahasrara chakra. It balances itself. We find it in balance when everything else is in sync in our body. The Sahasrara chakra means the 1,000-petaled chakra. It's the full manifestation of enlightened awareness and integrating yourself into your environment, into the world, into the universe as a blissful being. The Sahasrara chakra means understanding. It means all of the universe wrapped into this connection with the divine. Go ahead and walk your hands back in. Find a seat. Sweep the left leg under and the right leg over. We're coming into Ardha Matsyendrasana. Half twist here. Lift the arms up and twist over towards the right, hooking the left elbow into the right knee. Twists are detoxifying, and when we detox the body, we're allowing ourselves to come into a higher state. So these last poses are meant to be meditative and slow and lead to balancing the Sahasrara chakra now that we've worked through all the others. Let the hands rise again, reverse the legs, and then twist over towards the left. The Sahasrara chakra color is white or all colors, and it has it contains all sound. So all the other chakras have a color and a sound associated with them. And then the seventh chakra is just kind of everything. And unwind again. Come into Dandasana, staff pose. Forming a right angle with your trunk and pressing into your palms on either sides of your hips. Crown of the head reaches up, sit tall. Chin lifted, proud through the chest. And go ahead and tuck the right foot in to the inner thigh. Keep that left leg out long, and we'll come into Janu Shirsasana, head to knee pose. We're coming in straight over that left knee. Put your hands on your shins, reach your hands to your foot. Go ahead and grab a strap if that's more comfortable for you. And we're stretching out the hamstring and the hip here. Try to make that stretch come from the hips and not just the lumbar spine. And relax into it. We're winding down our practice. We'll be on the ground for the rest of the practice. Just relax. Make sure you haven't lost your Ujjayi breath here. And go ahead and walk your hands back in. Reach out the right leg, tuck the left foot to the inner thigh, and we'll take Janu Shirsasana second side. Twisting the trunk over before you reach out over the knee to make sure you're turned straight over the leg. If you want to move deeper into this pose, you can try flexing the quad. That will bring in reciprocal inhibition and allow the hamstring to relax. And we'll start to walk back up towards center with the hand. Tuck in the outstretched leg and find Baddha Konasana, butterfly, bound angle pose. The bottoms of the feet are together. Grab a hold of the feet. You can use your elbows to dig into the shins or the thighs and press a little bit deeper, trying to lower the knees if that's comfortable for you, if you're craving a little bit of an extra stretch. And go ahead and fold deeply over your feet, bringing in a forward fold to this pose. And now rise up. Keep your left leg where it is. go ahead and swing your right leg forward and over top of the left leg until your knees can stack on top of each other. We're coming into Gomukhasana, cow face pose here. So your feet are really by your hip bones and your knees are straight in front of you. It's okay if you have space between your knees. That's just a little bit of tightness in the hips. That's what we're working here. So when your legs are comfortable in a position, we'll take the arms. If this is so strenuous for you, you can elevate your hips on a block and that might help a little bit. And if it's really just out of reach for you right now, go ahead and take a seated twist again, like we had done before. So from here, I'm going to take my right arm straight overhead. Try to touch the ceiling with the fingertips, and then go ahead and bring the arm back behind you. Touch the upper back, palm facing your body. And then you can bring your left arm out behind you and reach up and try to create a bind here. If that's out of reach, maybe you can grab a strap to help you connect your hands. Or you can just rest your hands on your back separate if they don't touch. Try to puff out the chest a little bit. And go ahead and unwind the hands. Swing the right leg out. And we can come into staff pose really briefly just to transition to the other side. So this time your left knee is going to stack on top of your right knee and your legs are going to fold back. Your left arm is going to reach towards the sky and then reach down the back. And your right arm is going to swing underneath and try to meet the hand. Great job. Go ahead and come out of that. Sit in Dandasana just for another moment to recenter. We're about to come into a headstand. So if a headstand is in your practice at all, go ahead and take your legs up on the wall. That could feel really good. Or elevate your legs by coming onto your back, bringing your feet straight up. So basically inverting your Dandasana right now and bring your feet straight up. And then your hips can rest on a block. And that elevation is going to alleviate any ab work from this pose. So those are great inversion options as well. Your inversions are really going to help your nadis, help your energy channels here as we try to come into full balance in the 7 chakras. So take either of those poses or go ahead and take your headstand. If you take your headstand, you can practice against a wall if that's in your practice. This is not a class to teach you how to do a headstand because we need to more workshop that if that's your first time. So take one of the other poses if this isn't already accessible for you. If you're in your headstand, you're pressing into the head, pressing into the forearms to make sure your shoulders are lifted and you're in really good posture. So if I looked at a picture of you right now and flipped it upside down, it should look like you're standing. You should have excellent posture through the hips, through the knees, through the heels of the feet. And then you can point your feet or flex the feet, whatever feels good to you. As you're here, I'm going to kind of explain why Shirsasana, headstand, and really any inversion is so good for your seventh chakra. So there are three main energy channels in the body. The central channel is the Sushumna, which runs in both directions and brings energy up and down. The downward force is the Ida, which is our cooling energy in our body. And our upward force is the Pingala, which is our heating, really just energized force in the body. So in order to bring these into balance, yin yang, it's really useful sometimes to just flip your perspective upside down. It's really centralizing. If you have too much energy, it's going to bring you back down to calmness. If you don't have enough energy, it's going to kind of rile you up. So this is an amazing pose because it works on both extremes to bring you into a balance. And of course, the 7 chakras run along your spine here. Starting from the base of your spine, we have the Muladhara, which is your survival instinct. Moving between your hips to your uterus to your sex organs, Swadhisthana. That's your sexuality and your ease in knowing who you are. The Manipura is where your ribs split. It's a little bit above your belly button, and that's your power center, that's your career, that's your drive. Right at your heart is the Anahata, which is all about love. In your throat is the Vishuddha, which is communication. Your third eye is the Ajna, which is all about intuition. And now we finally come to the crown of the head, where there lies 1,000 petals, all colors, all sound. And this is the chakra of understanding. Go ahead and come out of your inversion slowly. Lie on your back. We're going to take an easy twist. Right leg into the chest. And then bring that right leg over to the left side. You can tee your arms out to get a little bit of a chest stretch here. And you can hold on to that right knee with the left hand. Look to the right if that's comfortable for you. And go ahead and release that side. Legs out long. Left leg into the chest. Reach it over to the right. Make sure you keep the left shoulder grounded as you look to the left. Twists are a total detox. They're your feel-good stretch. And come back through center when you're ready and find Shavasana. I like to use my heels to scoot my lower body a little bit longer to really find some elongation in the spine. Roll the shoulders back if that feels good. And find your deep relaxation. Through this practice, we've worked through the 7 chakras. We've nourished each chakra and cultivated energy in each in turn. And we found our way up to the understanding, the Sahasrara, the final chakra. In this final relaxation, you can imagine a rainbow pouring out of the top of your head. emanating light in all directions. You are balanced. You are powerful. You understand all that we can in the universe. You see your purpose in this life. Relax the space between the eyebrows. Relax the eyes. Relax the jaw. If you're ready, wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Roll to one side. Rise up to a seat. Hands to heart. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. I really liked going through the chakras with you and maybe teaching you something new. This is the 7th video in a 7-part series, so go ahead and revisit the other chakras in this playlist over here. Thumb knuckles to third eye. Bow forward. Namaste. Thank you. Have a great day.